Hybrid power offers a fresh dimension to ownership of Toyota's RAV4 soft-roading compact SUV. Through this car, the brand offers buyers in this segment the most affordable route into frugal petrol-electric power with its greater refinement and clean emission tax benefits. Plus, this improved fourth-generation design delivers smarter styling, greater safety provision and extra media connectivity. It's worth a look.
There is nothing like hybrid power, especially in terms of the Rolls-Royce style of general refinement and the eerie silence you get at startup. In this RAV4, we're talking of a 194 brake horsepower setup that's available with either two-wheel drive or, as in this instance, all-wheel drive. In both cases, a 2.5 litre petrol engine is mated with a 141 brake horsepower electric motor at the front, but if you go for the E4 version, then a second 68 brake horsepower motor is also added to additionally power the rear axle too. It's this hybrid variant that Toyota expects at least half of all future RAV4 buyers to choose, despite the fact that the brand hasn't mated this power plant with the more advanced plug-in technology that some rivals use. This Japanese brand declines to copy that approach here, doubting that many potential buyers will want to pay the significant premium that accompanies plug-in progress. They could be right. This is certainly a more affordable way of buying into the impressive returns possible using petrol-electric propulsion. In the case of this four-wheel drive model, you're looking at 55.4 miles per gallon on the combined cycle and 118 grams per kilometre of CO2. A RAV4 must never be big and bulky. Buyers have always looked at one and thought, yes, I could drive that. Yes, I could park that. And yes, that would look rather nice in the driveway. All these observations, of course, apply to this restyled Mark IV model, but this time around there's a sense of individuality that arguably the RAV4 hasn't had since the 90s. As you can see, the most notable changes have taken place up front, where a smarter, slender upper grille is flanked by restyled headlights featuring LED technology on plusher versions like this one. Time to take a seat behind the wheel, where Toyota promises an improvement in quality this time around, restyling the instrument binnacle, the centre console and the gear lever surround, and adding in higher quality materials, all in an effort to try to push this car up market. As before, the driver-centric section is framed by this silver-finished hoop that rises from the transmission tunnel and cuts through the dashboard beams to frame instrumentation that's now delivered by two separate circular dials. The left-hand one will either be a rev counter or, as here, a hybrid system indicator. It all depends on the engine that you've chosen up front. Between these gauges, Toyota has added in a 4.2-inch multi-information display to this improved model. This showing you safety information, trip computer data, a compass and audio settings. Now, anything this screen can't tell you will probably be covered by this. The 7-inch centre dash infotainment monitor, the fascia has here been redesigned to better accommodate. And in the rear, well, if your experience of RAV4 motoring is limited to older Mark I, Mark II or Mark III versions of this car, make sure you take a seat here to experience the differences because they really are significant. The redesign that created the original version of this Mark IV model in 2012 added an extra 100mm to the wheelbase of this car, and pretty much all of it has been used to benefit backseat occupants who get plenty of knee room and class-leading standards of space. Finally, let's take a look out back. You get 547 litres in a conventionally engined petrol or diesel RAV4, or 501 litres with this hybrid variant. Once upon a time, the RAV4 was the kind of car we might call a crossover today, with SUV looks unexpectedly matched to a young, sporty demeanour. Today, in Toyota's range, that mantle has been passed on to the trendy CHR model. The RAV4, like its original buyers, has grown up, matured and become more sensible. And what could be more sensible than the installation of a hybrid engine under the bonnet? Perhaps then this is, as Toyota assures us, a better way of owning a model of this kind. Well, you decide. One thing's for certain, for many this car's buying proposition still makes family-friendly, real-world sense.